Great rising. Great rising. Still dirty. Great rising, great rising, great rising. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me when y'all coming in. I don't know how loud I got my volume. Rich rising. Hey. Hello, hello. Good morning. Salam. Peace. All that good stuff. They still feel foggy. I got to clean these with some other stuff. Hold on, y'all. Rich rising. Hello, Audrey. Angelique. Afterward. Alfonso. Miss Ennis. Kiki. All of y'all amazing people. Great rising. Great rising. I just realized it was 5:55 over here. 5:55. 5:55. Hold on. Let's get our word for the day. All right. It says, if positive action is ultimately how we measure our lives, others, in our world, then let us bring it back to our daily consciousness and goals. If positive action is ultimately how we measure our lives, others, and our world, then let us bring it back to our daily consciousness and goals. Let us remember that when we take action, an invisible force gathers all around us, pulling in opportunities that align with our purpose, propelling us with momentum to our freedom. Ashe. Look at Spirit coming with the real word. With the real word. I need this word myself. I don't know about y'all. I needed this word for myself. Okay, let's read it one more time. It said, if positive action is ultimately how we measure our lives, others, and our world, then let us bring it back to our daily consciousness and goals. Let us remember that when we take action, an invisible force gathers all around us, pulling in opportunities that align with our purpose, propelling us with momentum towards our freedom. Listen, y'all know that's my favorite topic. Boy, listen. Okay. Grand Rising, peace, 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 everybody that's coming in. Peace, peace, peace. So when you think about the fact that when we are doing what we're supposed to be doing, when we are being a reflection of love, when we are being a reflection of God, when we are being the highest version of ourselves, it automatically puts us on the frequency that brings the same energy back to us. Automatically. It's divine law. Anytime that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing, anytime that we are always operating in positive reinforcement, positive action, it is going to literally put you and align you on the same frequency of what it is that you desire. Because you got to remember, what you are seeking is seeking you. Anything that you're looking for is looking for you too. But you got to also listen to the flip side of that. Once again, anything you are seeking is seeking you too. So that also could mean you're seeking negativity. You seeking drama. You seeking chaos. You seeking, confusion. And if you are seeking chaos and confusion, guess what's going to come? Chaos and confusion is going to come looking for you. This is why it's so important for us to master the mind. It's so important for us to master our subconscious self. It's so important for you to understand how your mind is operating and moving and working. Because if you don't, and you're just allowing it to run wild, run amok, thank you, boo, then guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? We gonna always be feeling like just when I got We always going to be looking for the other shoe to drop. We're always going to be, you think about though how many people talk about, oh man, stuff is just too good. They're getting excited and, you're enjoying the moment and yada, yada, yada. But in the back of your mind somewhere, you're waiting for the relationship to go south. You're waiting for the job boss or somebody to get on your nerves because you've always had that experience that the job goes south. You're waiting for something to go wrong that's going to mess up your blessing. Instead of doing what we was talking about yesterday, being in the moment, taking the power of now, understanding that the present moment is your present. Okay? That is your gift. That is your blessing. Being able to fully engage in this particular moment. And if you're fully engaged in whatever the frequency that you're operating in, whatever the energy that you're putting out, whatever is happening in this moment for you, instead of worrying about, damn, but something might happen. This person might leave me. And this job, I might lose my job. They might lay us off. I talked to somebody yesterday, and he was the banker. I was opening up a business account for my new business out here. And he was, talking about how he had been working for the bank for like 5 years by the time the pandemic hit. And when it hit, one of his concerns and the reason that he was getting ready to buy a house, he put the house on hold. Listen to me. He put the house on hold. He was like, maybe I shouldn't buy it because they might fire me. They might lay me off, right? So instead of him buying the house, he put it on hold. Now he's ready to buy a house, and guess what? Prices are high. Prices is high. He didn't get laid off, but the prices are sky high on the house. The same house he was looking at then basically doubled in price. Stop worrying about what could happen tomorrow. Stop worrying about what can happen next week. Live now. What can you do now? How can you enjoy now? How can you make the most of this 24 hours by operating in positive action first? Because as long as you're walking in faith, as long as you're walking forward, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, because it requires for you to be in divine action. Let's be clear. There's no just sitting down and praying for whatever it is that you want. You also are required to move in divine action as well. You have to be creating a divine action, a divine momentum within yourself, right? Within yourself. And if you're creating that divine momentum, that divine action, you're aligning with the frequency that is in alignment with the love that you're putting into what you're doing. That's in alignment with the spiritual connection that you're putting into what you're doing. When you align with that energy first, every time, it is going to reciprocate back to you. You don't have to worry about what somebody else is doing. You don't have to worry about the other shoe dropping. And then you have to know that whatever it is that is going to happen, whatever it is, okay, that is going to, that you think is going to happen, then that's none of your business. You're engaging in a conversation on a lower vibration and frequency, and that's none of your business. That's not who you are. That's not the true self. The true self is always operating in the highest reflection. And if we are always operating in the highest reflection of God, the highest reflection of spirit, then we don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about something coming to so-called knock you out of whatever it is you're doing, to so-called drop the other shoe in whatever it is you're doing. All you got to do is focus on what you're supposed to be doing. Even when you think it's something that went south, the devil is always busy, as they say, right? You done let the demon in the door. Like, all of that stuff, that is not what that really is. That's your unresolved ego. That's the inner child. Okay? That is operating from fear, which we already talked about. Fear is an illusion. That's not the truth. And they said, I wish I had my other book here. Anytime we operating in fear, we already know. This an illusion. That ain't my real truth. It's not my real truth. So whatever is happening right now, even if it don't feel good, even if it's uncomfortable for me right now, it is happening for my highest good. It is happening because, listen, that person, that job was a distraction on where it is that I'm going. Even if somebody operating in monkey ass energy, somebody operating in some monkey ass energy. Oh, okay, that's what you're doing. I'm gonna let you keep doing that. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Just look like, I'm gonna let you be the monkey in the show. That has nothing to do with me. Only thing I can do is extend grace and compassion towards you, because somewhere your wounded self got you acting like a monkey. I'm gonna let you have that. You might make it uncomfortable right now. You might make it, a little stressful. But as long as I take a breath and realign, because never let anybody steal you from your joy. No, don't let anyone knock you off your throne. I always tell people, like, don't let people pull you down off your throne. Are you crazy? That's how the queen loses the empire. That's why I'd be like, you got to go back and study how empires are ran. You got to understand, if you are for real, if you striving to be a boss, let me say this, if you striving to be a boss, if you striving to operate from a higher level of consciousness, go back and study how empires were ran. Go back and study, the position and the responsibilities that a queen has or a king has. Because the more you understand that, and you understand the movements that they were making, okay, the easier it is for you to understand why you don't let nobody remove you from your throne. Oh, that's what you're doing? Off with your head. I'm not dealing with that. Not physically. Don't be, off with your head for real in real life. But just be like, off with your head. Like, that's none of my business. That's over there. Put them back out the kingdom. I'm just going to put you out the kingdom. This is my kingdom. This is my queendom. Only people who honor me are allowed in my kingdom. Only people who honor me and know how to reciprocate the energy that I give out are allowed in this circle. If you are operating in anything less, in anything that is not in alignment with that frequency, then you are not allowed beyond the gates. Period. So you have to get back in a space, and I challenge each one of you to get back in a space that you really are understanding, okay, that in these moments, in these times, everything is reciprocating the energy that you put out. Pay attention. What energy are you putting out? Are you putting out positivity? Are you putting out joy? Are you putting out love? Okay? Whatever it is that you want to receive, in order for you to truly be liberated, because everybody wants to be free, financially free, emotionally free, right? Spiritual freedom. Everybody want to be free. Everybody want to be able to do what it is that they want to do from the heart's desire, the soul's desire. And the only way you can do that is to be intentional about your own action. Am I operating in divine order, in divine law? And if I'm operating in divine order and divine law, then guess what? everything that is in alignment with that will come. It will come to me. It will align the forces. It will align the right people, the right places, and the right time. So I can be the best version of myself. So I can achieve my dreams, my desires, my goals. Every time. I know this is true. And the beauty is you know it is too. You just have to take time to acknowledge it. A lot of times we're so in autopilot. We're so busy being busy. We're so distracted by these gadgets, the universe, the clowns in the circus. We're so distracted that we're not even realizing the blessings and the bliss that happen in our lives and on a daily basis. You don't be seeing the miracles that happen in your life on a daily basis. You take for granted that you woke up this morning. You take for granted that you got out of bed and walked. You take for granted that you're able to breathe. You take for granted that you woke up with health. You take for granted that if you have a car, transportation, home, food, clothing, shelter, y'all take that for granted. And yes, that's some basic ass shit, but it's not something that everyone is afforded. You take for granted the person that you met at the grocery store that shared a story with you. You take for granted that person that let you get in front of them in the checkout line. You take for granted these divine interactions that happen in your life on a daily basis. You take for granted that maybe there was a car that ran a light and it almost took your life. But you still here. Take for granted those dynamics, these moments that are happening all around us and for us all the time. The bullet that you dodged, it was like, oh, you know. And when I say bullets, some of y'all dodging physical bullets, but some of y'all have dodged people bullets. But like, I knew it was a reason I didn't get in a relationship with them. Or I knew it was a reason, like, you find out later on that somebody, I remember when I was younger, I was like 20 something, and I heard where somebody I was dating, I'm trying to make sure I use my words correctly. Someone I was dating, actually, like, we broke up. The situation after me, that person like was heavily abused in this situation. Like, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening to this particular mate that he chose. And, you know, it was crazy because there was a moment after we broke up that I actually entertained taking that person back or going back in a relationship with him. But there's this, you know, thing that I even said yesterday. It's like when God, spirit, universe, whatever it is you believe in, opens the door for someone to leave and they close it, leave it closed. Some people ain't supposed to come back in your life. There's a reason that spirit has moved that person out of your life. There's a reason that spirit has taken situations and just been like, you know what? It's time for you to go. And it's so you can dodge the bullet. It's so, okay, you can be in a space where you're understanding like, hey, that happened for my good. That was something that they just saved me from. Right? That's something that, you know, this person that I was in a relationship had actually pistol whipped the girl after me. And I'm like, I don't think it would have ever did that to me, but who knows? Who knows? I already saw he was a little crazy. That's why I got out the relationship. I was like, you're a little crazy. You like lifetime crazy a little bit. I see it in you. I see it. You got the potential of some lifetime crazy, have me in a ditch type situation. So I'm going to just leave you alone. Okay? So it's got to be those dynamics that you start to pay attention when you are looking at your life. When you're going back and paying attention like, dang. Like, I almost died giving birth to that child. But God, as they say. But God, you know, I almost went through this. But this Everything is happening in your favor, whether you understand it or not. Know that as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that's the key. Am I always operating from a frequency of my higher self? Always. One of the questions, if you're wondering how I try to stay on track, and I say try because every once in a while I get off track. Every once in a while. It's not too often these days. When I was younger, it's different. Now, I strive to stay in alignment with what I know is, intentional for me. Let me say that. What I know is intentional for me. And so for me, the question that I'm always asking, like, is this a reflection of God for me? Does this situation, does this person, right, look like self-love to me? Those are the main two questions I'm always asking. Like, how is this a reflection of God? How is this a reflection of self-love? Am I doing anything that is compromising to my spirit? When I ask those questions, it always makes it simple. People always say it's not just black and white. It is always black and white. Always. Gray is the confusion. Gray is, the BS. Gray is your area that you want to make up just so you don't have to deal with the black or white. But it's always black and white. It's very clear. There's a definite yes or no. When you're in the gray area, that's when you're confused. Point blank. And it's confused, or you're straddling the fence. You're wanting to have 1 foot in righteousness and 1 foot in righteousness. And that's meaning that you straddling the fence and now you're in that gray area. Gray area is where you end up in some BS. Ask questions that are direct and simple. Are you reflecting God in this moment? And if you cannot say yes, and we're not talking about because somebody's slick, one of y'all open crown that's got, probably a manifesting generator or a generator gonna say, well, there's the God of war. No. We're not talking about deities. We're talking about divine order. We're talking about divine power. Okay? So don't come at me with telling me, well, there's always. No, we're not going off of that. And the highest expression of who you are, and the highest, most loving, free expression of yourself, the one that make you feel good, the one that make you smile when you're thinking about what love feel like, the one that make you feel at peace. Because I promise you, peace and war feel different. It feels so different. Even for the warrior, it feels different. So the one that makes you feel still in the soul. Make sure you're asking that question from that space. Ask it from that space. Ask it from a space of, did this really reflect my self-love? Is this really in alignment with my self-love? Is this really a reflection of God? What would Jesus do? What would God do in this moment? In the purest expression of what that means. Not from this tainted, twisted, human will expression that we look at in today's world, but in the purest expression, the most divine expression. What does that look like? Does that look like I'm extending grace when somebody acting a fool? Does that look like I am moving on and releasing anything that's not serving me? If you fly high enough, if you move high enough, I don't know if you've ever noticed, as you're growing and expanding and evolving in self, the people who are not in alignment with that frequency will fall to the wayside. They fall short. They will literally remove themselves out of your space without you even doing anything because they can't keep up. Hold on, baby. I'm trying to get. It depends on what you say is black and white thinking different from what you're saying. I don't think so. Now, if your extremes is like, I'm either like on one end of the spectrum, ready to, you know, 0 to the 100 to 100 type extreme, that's a little different. Like, are you that one that could be like, you know, one person, you the angel and the devil all in the same moment? That's a little different. That's a little different. Let me see if this person right here got a real question. No, they don't. Okay. Yeah, like if you're going from one extreme to another, all in the same moment, in the same thing, I don't think it is. I think you have to be careful. Let me see who it says afterward. Angie, you got to be careful with stuff like that because let's be clear, counselors typically deal with information from a textbook perspective. It might be in your actual blueprint that you are supposed to filter. And this is why I even think like this. I am a defined crayon third eye person. I literally am going to filter out clearly what is right and what is wrong for me. That's how my aura works. That's how my energy works. So if I was moving where I'm thinking about, oh, there's a 1% chance or there's, that don't work for me. That's not in alignment with my energy. So you're compromising me when you want me to think in a certain perspective. So if that is how you naturally think, if that's how you, and you haven't been conditioned to think like that, if that's how your aura works, then that's right for you. That's why I always tell people, like, whether you're going to a counselor, whether you're going to a doctor, whether you're going to anybody that is supposed to assist you in this journey, they need to know how your mechanics work. If they don't know how your mechanics work, right? If they don't know how your mechanics work, they're going to have you all over the place. They're going to have you in energy that don't align with you. That's like the hustle culture. You know, everybody is talking about, oh, you know, just do it. Go, you know, go get the bag. Do anything by any means necessary. Now, I used to be a part of that hustle culture, right? And it's like, no, but that wasn't in alignment with my energy. It wasn't. So everything that I've been doing lately has been like by invitation. Because that's how my energy works. I have to be invited in. And what I have noticed is that when I am going by invitation, everything has been like flowing. There's no resistance. It's no resistance. And it's making my journey easier. But I know how my mechanics work. And because I know my mechanics, okay, because I know my mechanics, it helps me understand and I guess filter when I'm getting assistance from other people. I hope that made sense. And I see Ascension. Hey, boo. He says it's just like medical practice is supposed to utilize either. It went too fast. I was trying to catch your whole sentence, baby. But yeah, it's like, you know, anything in the world you have to like understand no matter what, who you are. This is why my first step in anything, and one of the, you know, the biggest things that I've, you know, my first book was Journey to Self. Let's get back to who you are. Even God is Awakening. It's about discovering and aligning and connecting to the God in you. It's always going to be about who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? How am I supposed to be doing this? How am I supposed to be moving? Me, as an individual, we are all unique. We all have intentional purpose in a place in this world. And if we are not aligning with that correctly, you're going to be all over the place. You're going to be doing something that mama wants us to do, daddy wanted you to do, your friends wanted you to do, society told us to do. That ain't yours. You're supposed to do what you want to do, what you feel called, because you know that your soul is always wanting to express itself in the most divine expression. Always. It's going to always pull you towards something. What is it that is pulling you towards? And if it's pulling you towards, like, nah, this is right, this is wrong, then there's a reason that you are like that. And that's okay. The sooner we start accepting that every one of us are different, some of us might have some similarities, some of us might awaken other, levels of consciousness in each other, but we all different. And the goal is to accept that person for who they are. Oh, you move like this. When I'm around generators, I have to accept them for they naturally loud. Even when they think they being quiet, they naturally busy. And I have to be mindful when they pulling me into their generator energy. Like, you want me to be on 5,000. I'm supposed to be over here on, 10. No, I'm not. I ain't supposed to be doing it. I'm supposed to be over here being still. Okay. You say yes, as a generator, you feel nothing but frustration. It's exhausting, but I'm learning myself so I can use my natural powers. Exactly, because anytime you're frustrated, there's two things that's happening. It's pushing you through to your breakthrough. So you're supposed to be finding the resourceful way to get your breakthrough. Or two, you didn't align correctly in the first place. A lot of times y'all frustrated and overwhelmed because y'all didn't align correctly in the first place. You didn't do what you're supposed to do in the first place. And that was wait to respond. Always paying attention. The universe is giving you things to respond to. Did you respond correctly? Exactly. The more y'all embrace who you authentically are, the more you embrace who you are authentically meant to be, how your energy moves, how you express yourself, right? Like, I strive to encourage my amazing manifesting generator son to, always express himself. Always just be him. It might make everybody uncomfortable. We might be looking at him like, oh, did you just say that out loud? But at the end of the day, I don't want to stifle who he is. I don't want to stifle his growth. I don't want to stifle the natural king that he is. Because he has a natural godlike complex, kind of like Kanye. And I don't want to stifle that. I'm like, Kanye is Kanye because it wasn't stifled. His greatness wasn't stifled. Right? The reason he has become the genius that he is in music, in, producing his expressions of art, is because he wasn't stifled by his mother. It might make everyone feel uncomfortable with the giant that he is. But at the end of the day, he is who he is because of how he was raised. Period. So I strive to allow my children to be who they need to be in this particular stage. You don't like us? You don't like Kanye? I like him. He's one of my favorite projectors. All right. So that's all I got for y'all. I love you. I will that y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Oh, yesterday I told y'all I went to go do Reiki for a home that was with some Native Americans, and I got blessed with a gift from one of the elders that was in there. And I'm so excited about this new journey and the people that I meet along the journey and the gifts that are shared with me, and the expressions that are shared with me within this journey. It's further giving me confirmation of what I'm supposed to be doing and this season of my life, and how divine everything is in this season of my life. So super excited about Arizona. That's what I'll say. I'm super excited about being in Arizona. All right. Yes. Look at Big City coming through. So, that was an interesting experience. I'll go live probably on my Shea's Magic page about that, not on here, and talk about my experience with that. And it might be later on today or it might be tomorrow. I don't know. I almost didn't make it today. I almost didn't make it today. Hey, boo. Well, welcome back. Welcome back home. All right. I love you guys. Let me get off of here because, I'm talking low like this because everybody's still asleep. And I was trying not to wake nobody up. But I know we should be moving and grooving in a little bit. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.